G'day guys, nbduckman here, and welcome to the first episode of Collector's Corner. In this series I'm going to be talking about various things that I have in my collection. They might be interesting to you, they might not be. Now, most of you watching this are probably thinking, who the heck is this guy? Why am I even subscribed to him? Because 90% of my subscribers at the moment are probably here because of my Dead Mouse videos, and I haven't uploaded many of those for a while. But I will be covering some Dead Mouse stuff in this series. One of the things I own is this vinyl record. It's actually quite rare. It's one of the first releases that Dead Mouse ever put out. As far as I know, there's not very many of these on the market, sort of less than 10 floating around. So I'll cover that in another episode. What I'm going to cover in this episode is quite an obscure Nintendo item. It's called Mario Party E. Now, many of you might be familiar with the Mario Party franchise. It's been around for a while. There's like 10 different versions of it now. But this one's quite obscure. It's not a numbered one. It's called Mario Party E. Now, what that E means is basically it's a game for the Nintendo Ereader, which is another really obscure Nintendo item. I guess because I'm going to be covering a few Ereader items in this series, I should probably explain what the Ereader is. So the Ereader is this ugly looking thing. It's not the most attractive add-on Nintendo's ever made. But basically you'd plug it into a Game Boy Advance or a Game Boy Advance SP. And then what you do, you'd grab one of these cards. Nintendo released a stack of these, which I'll cover in my later videos. And you just scan them through. And it would read the data off these little barcodes. I don't know if you can see them. My camera's not focusing very well. But there you go. It would read the data off of those, and so some would have games, some would have add-ons for other Nintendo Game Boy Advance games. It's really obscure. I don't even think it was released in some places, but it was quite a gimmick. So what Mario Party E was like basically a board game, or a card game as they call it, where you'd use these cards in conjunction with playing a board game, and you'd basically play little mini-games on your Game Boy Advance that would determine the outcome of the game. So I'll open this up and we'll have a look. So when you open up the box, this is what you get. You get some cards, and these are your e-reader cards. Now you'll notice not all of them have any barcodes on them. In fact, only 11 of these cards do. The rest were just sort of, generic playing cards that you use in the game. But then occasionally you get a special card like this, and you could scan it through to play the mini game. You can see on this one the mini game was called, when my camera decides to focus, Mario's Mallet. And so you can see that depending on whether you win or lose the challenge, the card has a different effect. And so I think, there are 11 cards like this in the deck. The next thing is the instruction book, which explains how you play the game. It seems like quite an interesting game. Can't say I've ever played it, but, And the next thing is the board, which is a paper board. It's not really a board, but let's open it up. So this is what it looks like. I can't really fit it in the whole frame, and it's all creased. I don't know why they made it out of paper. But you can see each player had like these 3 card slots, and basically the deck goes here and the discard pile's there. And the gist of it is you're trying to get these 3 cards here, the Superstars Clothes cards. And once you get all 3 of those, you win the game. I don't really know the rules, but that's basically how it works. And so you've got these coins, you've got the mini games, and they try to make it a bit more entertaining, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the game. As you can see, there's not much in the box. I actually bought this brand new off eBay, but the box was pretty beaten up. I paid about $30 Australian for it, but you can go and look on eBay now. Sometimes you can get lucky and get it for that price, but sometimes it's a little bit more. But what we'll do now, we'll try and scan in some of these cards and see what they look like. So this is what the e-reader looks like when it starts up. Sorry if you can't see that very well, but basically you get to this menu and it just basically has 3 options. The top one is scan card, which is what we'll be doing. So if you activate that, you just get one of these cards, scan it across, and it'll load. Now you can see it's loaded the bottom half. That's because I only scanned the bottom half of this. If I now scan the other side, yeah, there we go. So you can see it's now loaded the full game. Shush. Most of the time these games are on 2 strips. Occasionally you'll get little mini games that only have one, but most of the time, you need the full 2 strips to fit an actual game on a piece of paper. So there's no easy way to film this. It's now loaded the game, Mario's Mallet, so let's see what it's all about. Press A. Right, so I pressed A to determine how many of these things I'm meant to squish. I keep on squishing them, but I'm not sure how this is meant to be difficult. Oh, right. So occasionally it looks like Luigi's head pops up and you're not meant to squish it. So it's all just tiny little mini games like this. If you'd win, you do activate one card's effect in the game, I suppose, and if you lose, you don't. So we'll try Waluigi's game next. Everyone loves a bit of Waluigi. This game is called Time Bomb Ticks. I'll spare you the boredom of me scanning it in. Okay, so this game has 2 modes, Versus and Practice. We'll try Practice. Okay, so it's some bomb defusing game. 1, 2, 3. I guess I'm just meant to hit them in order. Alright, there's a timer there. 5, 6, 7. This is actually harder than it looks, believe it or not, or I might just be a bit special. 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh, right, because that's just practice, it doesn't actually mean anything. So I guess if I go and play the real game, I need to do it as fast as I can. It's funny because the timer's going up. I don't get why. Oh, I assume that I play it and then someone else plays it next, and whoever gets the lowest score wins. Yeah, that's boring. So that's Mario Party E in a nutshell. As you can see, it's a pretty boring, average game. But there is one more thing to say about this game. You'll notice that a lot of these cards are what they call coin cards, I guess. What they ended up doing is a bit of a promotion for this game. I guess they didn't know if it was going to take off or not. They included a special bonus card, as they call it, in a Game Pro magazine. And this card's really quite rare. I managed to come across one. Here it is. You can see it's a double coin card, I guess, which counts as 2 coins, and you can see that that's what it says in the description. I've seen very few of these on eBay, but when they do show up on eBay, they're generally pretty cheap because people don't know their worth. I have seen one on eBay pretty recently, actually, but other than that, they don't come up very often. So if this is something you're into, keep an eye out and try and snap one up. So that is Mario Party E on the first episode of Collector's Corner. This has been nbduckman. See you next time.